What made you feel like an anti-hero? I can't recall when it started. I only remember how my little sister Momo complained about being so weak. The boys at school constantly grabbed her in the hallways, flipping her skirt up and making comments about her body. I don't like it, but they won't stop even when I ask them to, she explained, trembling. I felt heartbroken, unable to do anything for her. The night she came home with her shirt torn and bruises on her wrists, the look on her innocent face darkened. She wouldn't tell me what happened, just kept repeating in a daze that she wished she was stronger. I signed us up for self-defense classes at the local gym. Momo was nervous at first, but after learning her first escape technique, she couldn't stop smiling. Our parents felt relieved she'd found something empowering after what happened. She learned to defend rather than flinch, to counterattack rather than hide. The instructor praised her natural instincts and quick reflexes, and within weeks, she was an entirely different person, coming home from school without having to look over her shoulder. The last boy that grabbed my skirt ended up on the floor, she bragged. I felt proud and knew we were on the right path. Things got intense after Momo started teaching self-defense to her friends. At first, it seemed sweet that she wanted to help other girls feel safe, but then she began carrying weapons everywhere. I found brass knuckles in her backpack and a switchblade in her purse. Just in case, she said when I asked. She started profiling every man we encountered, whispering threat assessments to me at the grocery store. That guy's stance suggests military training. Stay away from him. I didn't think much of it until one afternoon at the park. Momo's wallet fell out of her pocket while we were walking. A man jogging behind us picked it up and called out, "Miss, you dropped this." Momo spun around, and before he could take another step, she pepper sprayed him directly in the face. He collapsed, screaming and clawing at his eyes. She kicked at his ribs like a crazed animal, almost foaming at the mouth. "Momo, stop!" I yelled, trying to pull her back. "He was returning your wallet." She kept kicking him as he curled into a ball, gasping for air. "That's how they get close to you," she shouted. "They pretend to help." Other people ran over to help him when I managed to drag Momo away. "What were you thinking? He was a kind man," she groaned. "Oh please, he was clearly stalking us. You have no idea what it's like to be prey, and it shows." She continued jogging without me. I knew something was wrong when I saw the blocked-off gym windows at the community center. Momo had been running advanced workshops for young girls, but she'd never covered the windows before. I heard muffled shouting inside and used my spare key. The door was barricaded. I shoved through and froze. Two 10-year-olds stood in the center of the mat, holding actual knives. Their hands shook violently. Blood already spotted the floor. One girl, blonde with a fresh cut on her forearm, was sobbing. The other, a redhead, kept looking at the locked exit. Momo stood between them and the door, holding her own blade. "Fight properly or you'll both stay for overnight intensive training," she said calmly. The blonde girl lunged first, trying to knock the knife away. They grappled, crying and apologizing to each other. Momo kicked the blonde's knee. "Fight for real!" The girl collapsed, and the redhead accidentally sliced her shoulder. The smell of blood filled the room. Something snapped in the blonde. She screamed and tackled the redhead, knocking her down. Then she started stabbing. Wild, desperate movements. "I want to go home," she wailed between strikes. "Please, I just want to go home." The redhead's arms went up to protect herself, getting slashed open. Blood pooled beneath them. The blonde kept stabbing and sobbing. "Let me leave, please." Momo watched with satisfaction. "Good. Real violence is messy. Now stand up. You beat her, so now you fight me." The blonde looked up, face streaked with tears and blood spatter. "No, please." I rushed forward to pull her away. Momo's reflexes were too fast. Her knife caught my ribs as I shielded the girl. Hot pain spread across my side. "Run!" I gasped. The blonde scrambled past us toward the door while I pressed against my wound. The redhead wasn't moving, just whimpering on the mat. Her shirt was soaked through, more red than white now, and her fingers twitched in the expanding puddle. Momo stood over her, examining the wounds like a scientist. "Superficial," she noted. "In a real attack, she'd be dead." She dipped her finger in the blood and licked it while sirens wailed outside. The blonde had made it out. Momo sighed, disappointed. "We were just getting to the important part. They need to know that violence doesn't stop when you're tired or scared." She knelt beside the bleeding girl, still lecturing as the police broke down the door. Momo got 5 years in juvenile detention and mandatory psychiatric treatment. The judge issued a restraining order keeping her 500 feet from any facility for children. I visit Momo monthly, hoping to see remorse. Instead, she shows me notebooks filled with lesson plans for the girls in her unit. "There's a 12-year-old here who's never even thrown a punch," she told me last week, excited. "So much potential. She gets released next month. I've already warned her counselors about the notebook."